Hello and welcome to the TradeSite U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for the week beginning Monday, the 30th of November, 2015, ending Friday, December 4th. Welcome to the last month of the year. Here's a look at the ES front month futures contract daily chart. This is the S&P index in its futures form, which is the more technical form. And you can see here, after the plunge in August, recovery that took a month or so to get back. Now we're right back in this range that we were in for 8 months of the year. Basically, after retesting one pullback, the 2000 level almost exactly on the ES a couple weeks back, bounced off of that, draw a box around where we're at here, puts us right back in that same range, same numbers we were at in August. Pretty exciting. Should be having a good time of year for a bigger rally. We're not seeing it yet. By the way, this is the time of year, as I've said several times, where stocks that are up for the year will continue to push higher. There's just nobody wants to sell them and lock in the tax gain. That's usually what propels the market higher at the back end of the year. All right, quick look at oil. Closed at 41.71, down a little bit after rising a little earlier in the week. Gold down 13.80, making new lows for the year on gold. So the S&P on Friday, remember Friday was the half day. Thursday market was closed for Thanksgiving. So Friday was basically a waste of time. Up 1 point on the S&P. We'll look at the intraday or intra-week action in a moment here. Here's the NASDAQ 100, which gained 7 on Friday. SOX was up 4. Biotech's up 22, trying to break out of a little cup and handled over the last 4 weeks or so on the bios. VIX was down 7 cents to 16.83. The trend, because of the lack of trading, got a high reading at 2.05. That puts the 10-day moving average at 1.17. NASDAQ volume obviously doesn't count on the half day. You can see it's the lowest day of the year at 723,000. Million, sorry. Should not even be open, in my opinion, on that day on Friday. It's a waste of time and nobody shows up. Here's the advancers versus decliners on the NASDAQ, plus 716, and on the New York, plus 686. Google up $2.71. Apple down 22 cents because it doesn't do anything anymore. Amazon actually lost $2, but is still sitting very near the highs. Netflix still shaping up for that breakout. It'll be on our list for the week of something to watch. All right, so let's take a look at the intra week action on the ES. We're going to switch here to 10-minute candles so we can see the whole week, and probably a little more due to the holiday. So that's actually the very back end of last Thursday that you can see on the far left. And then the gap up was Friday of last week. So then we see a Monday flat opening, wiggled to the upside, and then rolled to the downside, ended up closing about flat on the late bounce. Tuesday, we gapped down, pushed a little lower, and then rallied back up to even right before lunch, drifted higher, gained a couple points. Wednesday was dead flat. Remember, we expected that biggest travel day of the year. A lot of times people head out early and usually do, and nothing happened on Wednesday. Thursday, the futures open for a couple hours despite the fact that it's Thanksgiving holiday, so you ignore that. And then Friday basically opened flat to where Wednesday's close had been and just wiggled around and closed about flat as well. So, total range for the week was only about 30 points on the ES, and that was all because of Wednesday morning. If you take that out, it was more like 15, and that's pretty much a boring week. Take a look at the NASDAQ side as well. Pretty much the same thing. By the way, where we closed last Friday is where we closed this Friday. So pretty much a reset from that point forward, right? And that's not unusual for Thanksgiving week. But now we're back to normal trading, sort of, as we head into December. Got some holidays coming up between Hanukkah and obviously Christmas season. But the key thing to remember, though, first is that Monday is the 30th. It's the last day of November. And so what that means is that markets could still be a little slow, people still traveling back from the long weekend, but the end of the month window dressing statement printing session. So we may not see Monday be the most exciting day of the week, but that's fine. Let's look at the economic data that's coming out. So Monday we've got Chicago PMI 15 minutes in, pending home sales 30 minutes in. Tuesday, construction spending ISM index, auto and truck sales in the afternoon. Again, I'm not sure that day that's going to move the market significantly. Wednesday, MBA mortgage index, ADP employment change, productivity revised, unit labor cost revised, crude oil inventories, the Fed beige book, Challenger job cuts, continuing claims. I'm sorry, this goes into Thursday. Thursday is the continuing and initial jobless claims. That's the weekly number. You also have factory orders 30 minutes in, ISM ISM services 30 minutes in, and then an hour in. Natty Gas, that's the weekly number there, of course. And then we go to Friday, where we've got a bunch of data due. We've got, let's take a look at this. Average work week hourly earnings, non-farm payroll, that's the number that comes out with the unemployment rate. That's a huge number. Trade balance, also a big number. The two of those don't usually come out on the same day, so that's a lot of information to get there before the bell. And then that's it. So trade balance, unemployment with the non-farm payroll all at once, Friday, an hour before the bell. And of course, Friday's Friday. So what do we expect for the week? Well, like I said, Monday could be a little slow. People still getting back home, but it's also month end, so the statements need to print. Tuesday starts to pick up. Wednesday, Thursday could be the better trading days of the week. Friday, we've got a lot of big data early that could certainly give us some action in the morning. But of course, it's a Friday, and after that, things tend to slow down. We do have this week, the following week, and the week after, with the exception of Hanukkah, that could slow some things down. Those are normal trading weeks. They're usually decent trading weeks. Hopefully, we get some volume back into the markets. And then the 4 weeks out is the week of Christmas. Christmas is on a Friday this year, so Thursday for Christmas Eve will be a half day. Friday, markets are closed. The following week, New Year's Day is Friday. So we have 2 3-day weekends in a row. Because we do have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before Christmas available, it's better than having Christmas on a Wednesday where the whole week kind of gets messed up. So there could be some opportunities there. The week between Christmas and New Year's is always a waste of time. So everybody's away and not trading during that week much. And that's about it. So we'll be focused on the middle of the week here, and of course Friday morning for all the data. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you have not taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. If you find these videos useful, please like them on YouTube. It does help us out. Have a great trading week.